Gonna give it a couple seconds for everyone to jump on. Just a couple more seconds here. A few more seconds and then we'll get started. Hey, Will. Okay, I see some people getting on. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hey, TDSF, this is your girl, Tanaya-Marcia Silhouette, and this is your Team DSF Weekly Business Training. And this week, I want to discuss sacrifice, the realities of entrepreneurship. A lot of times, most, if not all, entrepreneurs know that they want to be an entrepreneur, already. Like, it's in them. It's something that's inside of them. Maybe there's a few that find out later, but most of us know that we don't feel comfortable doing anything else other than building our own business. And that's great, And we start to brainstorm. We start thinking about our dreams and our passions and our why and what's going on and, how we want to be in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever. And all the glamorous stuff that comes along with that excitement of pursuing financial freedom and having financial independence, having time freedom, being able to work your own hours, being able to live the way you want to live and spend time with your family and do the things that you want to do whenever you want and not have to worry about paying bills. That's great. That is what you should be thinking about. But as you go through your business plan, and you start to map out your path and then you commit to doing it, then you have to go through the day-to-day grind of getting from where you are to where you want to be. And most of the time, especially in the beginning, in the first few years, it's not going to be glamorous. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of struggle and a lot of things that are going to get in the way, and you might start to have doubts. So what I want to talk about today is what should you expect when you are pursuing your dream as an entrepreneur, and how can you put these things into perspective? Like, you need to know up front that it's not going to be easy. You need to know what you should be doing and what you need to sacrifice, because this is going to take a lot of your time. It's going to take a lot of money, and it's going to take a lot of effort. And not only are you sacrificing your time and your money and your effort and your life, but those that are around you, your loved ones, your friends, anyone that has an active role in your life is going to be affected by this decision as well. And it's important that you understand that up front and you keep pushing forward and you keep remembering your why, because if not, you're setting yourself up for failure. If you thought that you were going to just get into the entrepreneurship in general, or if you thought you were going to get into network marketing and just shoot all the way to the top, then you got it twisted. Yeah, you might have heard like a success story or two of a couple people that grinded it out for like 18 months and now they're, on a yacht somewhere. But most people don't have that story. And if they did, they probably didn't tell you those sleepless nights and what it took for them to get there. Because I know people that have accelerated the process. but I also know what they sacrificed in order to do that. Most of us in network marketing are not doing this full time. Most of us have 9-to-5 jobs or some other source of income, or if we are doing it full time, we might have a spouse who is a traditional employee or traditional business owner or has another stream of income that is paying their bills. So most of us that commit to launching our businesses, we commit because of our dreams, our passions, and our why. But we know that we're doing this part-time for a certain amount of time, and so we have to figure out a way to fit it into the cracks of our life. Now, that's all good. You set your business hours, right? That's my theme. I always say, that's my motto, set your business hours. You set your business hours for the week, for the month, for the day, whatever. You go through your daily actions. Sometimes you hit your goals, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you got to push them to the next day. Sometimes you do what you're supposed to do, but your prospects aren't listening. Your prospects don't want anything to do with your business or your opportunity or your products or your services or whatever. You get told no a million times. And so you got to understand, it's going to take, let's talk about money. When you invest in a business opportunity, whether it's a traditional business or network marketing, you need to understand that you are going to be putting in money and you might not see a return immediately. You might not see a return on the money that you put in. Now, I'm not talking about the money that it costs to join the business. I'm not talking about that initial investment to be an official distributor of this company. I'm talking about all of the money that you have to pay for in order for you to grow your business the proper way according to the system that is in place for your company. So what does that mean? Sacrificing money, that means you have to sacrifice your startup money, right? The money that you pay your company to join your company as an official independent distributor in the eyes of the law. You got to sacrifice that money. Then you're going to have to sacrifice money in order to attend the recommended training events that your company has put in place in order for you to be successful. Because if you're starting a business in any industry, whether it's network marketing or traditional business in whatever it is, you need to have mentors. You need to know from the people that are already successful how to do what they did so that you can get to where they are at. You cannot train yourself. Now, you have people, oh, I'm self-taught, this and that. Yeah, okay. And they might have been self-taught. But that usually just means they probably read some books, got on YouTube, or did something else without a person standing in front of them telling them that. And you know what? Those books they read, they probably cost money. At some point, you cannot do this on your own, and you're going to have to reach out to people that are in your industry and pick their brains and go to these events that they're going to so that you can grow yourself as a person and grow your business. That costs money. It costs money to attend the event, to register for it. It costs money to buy plane tickets or transportation, gas, rental car, mileage on your vehicle, whatever. It costs money to eat at those events. It costs money if you have to take off work from your 9 to 5 to go to that event and it's not on a weekend. That means that you're losing money unless you got a salary. But if you have an hourly wage paying job, that means you're losing money from your 9 to 5 to go attend this event. Okay, and so, or if you do have a salary, that means that you got to do extra work in the same amount of time that you would normally do 8 hours of work. You're probably for a whole week, 8 hours a day, trying to cram in, in a 40-hour work week, you're probably going to try and cram in like a 50-hour work week into a 40-hour work week so that when you do leave and go on vacation to go to this event, even though you're getting salary, right, so you're still getting the same check, you put in extra work so that the people that are left at your job don't have to pick up the slack when you're gone. If not, when you come back, I guarantee you're going to pay for it then because you're going to have to work extra hard in order to make up for that lost time. So that means that your amount of money that you're being paid by your 9 to 5 per hour, even if you get a salary, you average that out. What are you worth per hour to this company? it probably goes down every time you take a paid vacation. Okay? Because you have to work extra hard in a shorter amount of time in order for them to approve you to leave to go to training. Then, like I said, you still got to pay for that training. So you got to account for that money. You got to account for books, like I said. You have to account for tax preparation, bookkeeping. You have to account for, gas back and forth to local events when you go to present for somebody, or when you go and support someone at their event that they're hosting. You have to account for that. So from a money perspective, it's not just the initial investment. You have to pay for inventory. Even if you don't house your own inventory, you still have to pay for inventory to use as samples, advertisement, to promote your business, sample it out to your prospects, kind of get those feelers out there if they want to try the product and they're not ready to buy something yet. Demonstrations, stuff like that. Those all cost money. Are you willing to sacrifice that ongoing investment? Because I will tell you this, if you look at any entrepreneur, if you go talk to them, traditional business owners and network marketing professionals, and you ask them, say, hey, when you invested in your business, was it just that initial investment, or was it an ongoing thing? They will tell you it's an ongoing thing. And for a period of time, they were not getting that money back. See, when you work at a 9-to-5 as an employee, you sacrifice X amount of hours per day. Maybe it's an 8-hour work day. And then you get compensated for those hours either every week or every 2 weeks or whatever your pay scale is. In addition to that, if they were to send you to go travel, depending on how it's worked, they'll either give you a government or a corporate credit card where you can charge everything off on that credit card and then pay it off when you're done, either with a reimbursement from them or with your own money, and then they reimburse you, or they expect you to put money up front to go travel, and then they reimburse you when you come back and you file your travel claim. But at the end of the day, you are sacrificing a set amount of hours for your 9-to-5, and they're paying you for those hours, and then they're reimbursing you for all of the travel expenses, or most that are authorized, according to what their company policy is. Most people are used to that. They understand and they say, okay, well, I know I'm going to get this money back. But when you are an entrepreneur, you're putting money into this business and you don't know if you're going to get that money back. You don't know if, when you're going to get reimbursed for travel expenses. Yes, you can write it off on your taxes, but you don't know when you're going to see a return on that investment because you haven't mapped out a plan in order to get that return on that investment. So that goes into number 2. Okay? Not only are you sacrificing money, but now you are sacrificing time. You have committed to doing your business, setting your business hours, right? Like I said. So if you're setting your business hours, say you're committing to 1 hour a day, I'm going to do my business, whatever that means. That means maybe I'm hosting a launch call to explain to people what my business is, or maybe you're using that time to share the opportunity, invite people to that opportunity, and they'll be promoted to the next event later. Maybe you're using that time to follow up with people that have already been on some type of third-party event, and you're checking to see if they're interested. Maybe you're, studying up on the products in your company history. Maybe you're going out to present for somebody at a meeting, or maybe you're hosting a meeting and someone else is presenting for you. Whatever it is that constitute officially doing your business, you're sacrificing that time. So we just talked about how you are going to have to put money into your business on a consistent basis. How do you get that money back? How do you ensure that you get that money back and that sacrifice, you're taking time away from your family to go do this business, and you're taking money away from your family to go do this business? How do you ensure that you get that money back? You have to make sure that what you're doing are the proper behaviors in order for you to get the results, which once again, if you had went and attended events recommended by your mentors in your company, you would have been properly trained on the right habits, the right actions that you need in order to build your business properly to get positive results. So that means not only do you have to sacrifice your time to go and do your business, you also need to sacrifice your time to attend training events, whether that's a conference call, a live stream like this, or an in-person event locally or out of state that requires you to pay money to go out and get there. You have to do that. Maybe it's a one-on-one with your mentor. Maybe you've reached out to other people that are not in your company, but they're in the same industry, and they're going to mentor you on how to properly connect with people, how to properly close with people, how to, be a better business person, or how to deal with rejection. Whatever it is, be trained by those that are more successful than you. That is a good use of your time. And that should generate results. Now, when are you going to get your results? Are you going to get them immediately? Maybe. Most likely not. If you're new to this industry and you've never done this before, then you might not see an immediate return on your investment. It might take time. And on average in network marketing, it takes about 6 follow-ups with the prospect before they even get to a decision. And we don't know if the decision is going to be yes or no. So what you have to ask yourself is my why strong enough for me to sacrifice my time away from my family, away from, all my loved ones and my hobbies and my personal things that I have going on? Is my why important enough for me to take that away from those things? Is my why important enough to take away money from my family and from myself and from this 9-to-5, which obviously is not fulfilling to me, because if it was, I wouldn't be looking for a business opportunity. So obviously I'm not happy at my 9-to-5. So is my why strong enough for me to sacrifice the money and the time and effort? Is my why strong enough for me to sacrifice the effort I can be putting into something else, but I decide to put it into this business? Is it strong enough? Does it justify that? And if your why doesn't, then you need to reconsider whether or not you really want to be an entrepreneur. Because that glamour and that success that you see on social media, that you see on TV and all of that, that's the results. That's the results. That is not showing you what went into that. That's not showing you the journey. That's not showing you what they sacrificed to get there. See, a lot of people come into this industry and they think, oh, I did it for, 6 months, or I did it for a year and I only made $200, but I put in thousands of dollars into it and I got into credit card debt and this and that, and it didn't work. But if you go and if you get anal with them and you look at their daily actions and you look at what did you really sacrifice? Did you really even sacrifice anything? And if you did, say you spent hours away from your family. Say you did spend thousands of dollars, on this business. Say you did feel like you put a lot of effort into it. Well, what do you think effort is? What were you actually doing with those funds that you put into this business? Did you put that money into the things that you should have been putting the money into? Was it something that was recommended by your company that works with your system to help you get results? Did you take that time? When you say you took 3 hours a day and you were doing your business, well, what were you doing for those 3 hours a day? Were you being productive with those 3 hours? Or were you sitting there reading the company homepage for 3 hours? Were you talking to new prospects, or were you talking to the same 5 people for the last 6 months trying to convince them to join your business? Were you out there, learning from the masters, learning from the people that make millions, learning from the people that are more successful than you? Or were you listening to people in your company that don't even follow the right system? And so just because it worked for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you, because it's not duplicatable. You know, maybe you're talking to somebody who's great at sharing the opportunity and you know, getting all sexy with the opportunity and able to bring people in. But are you able to speak like that? No. That's why you need to use third party. That's why you need to follow a system and connect them to somebody who they can talk to. You never share your opportunity alone. You know, so you have to think about this. When you feel like you've sacrificed everything, go find a mentor. Someone that you respect and somebody that you know is genuine. Someone that you personally have a rapport with. And if you don't have one, build a rapport with them first. And ask them, I see where you are now. When you started, where were you then? And can you explain to me your journey? What was it like when you were struggling? Because I'm struggling. You know, because I guarantee you, I know multimillionaires that have been through foreclosure, that have been sleeping in their trucks, that sold all their property in their home to attend events, that shared the opportunity with thousands of people. You know, they have hundreds of people in their organization, but they shared it with thousands to get those hundreds. So are you really doing the business the way you should be doing it? Because here's the thing. If you set your business hours and you've already said, I am going to commit 2 hours a day to doing this business for the next 6 months, and my family needs to understand we got to sacrifice, and I'm going to put $300 a month into this business, even though we got bills and everything, I'm going to do this because this is my why. And your family's on board with it? Great. But guess what? You know what you're missing? You better make sure you have the proper effort. Because if you're going to take that $300 a month for the next 6 months, and you're going to take those 3 hours a day for the next 6 months, you need to make sure that you're doing it the right way so that it's worth it. Because if you're putting that money into your business, but you're not doing your business properly, then you just wasted that money. And you just took food out of your family's mouth. And if you just took 3 hours away from your family, and then you're not even spending those 3 hours productively doing your business, then you just took 3 hours away from your family for no reason. Because your business is going to fail. So if you're going to do it, if you're going to sacrifice, first you got to be willing to sacrifice, period. You got to commit to sacrificing time, sacrificing money, okay? And then sacrificing effort, because the effort is what is going to tie everything together. If you don't put the effort in, then it's all for nothing. And then you become a statistic. Then you become one of those people that say, oh, this is a scam. This didn't work for me. It's not a scam. It didn't work for you because you didn't work for it. And I'll tell you right now, there's struggle. There's some struggle out there right now. I'm telling you right now, it's not freaking easy. It is simple, but it's not easy. So I'm going through this journey. I'm going to make sure that when I go through this journey and I go through my ups and downs and I go through this struggle, that it's actually worth it, because that's time and effort away from my family, and that's money taken out of my family's mouths. But you know why I'm doing it? Because my why is bigger than all of that. My why is bigger than my struggle. I see the big picture. It's not about the paycheck, the day-to-day stuff. It's about the total opportunity and what this is going to mean for my family and us in 5 years. That financial independence and that time freedom. So if that means that I got to bust my butt for the next few years and hate life, you know, hate life, hate what's going on with the little things, you know, it's all about changing your mindset. Yeah, it's going to be hard, but you got to enjoy it. You got to make sure that you understand why you're doing this, because there's something greater on the other side. And that's what you need to look at. Those people that are your mentors, that are on boats and traveling the world and loving life, it's because they busted their butt. They did the dirty stuff. You know, they went through that struggle, but they did it because the pros outweigh the cons. And it's so my son doesn't have to do this. I'm doing this for him. It's so that I can have that independence and that freedom. Because if not, 5 years are going to go by and you're going to be in the same place, if not worse, than you were when you were complaining. When you were complaining about a couple $100 that you had to put up for this and that, you might be thousands of dollars in debt by then. Cost of living's going up. So if you don't change something now, nothing's ever going to change. And I'd rather sacrifice for 5 years to have the rest of my life back than to work a 9 to 5 until I'm 80, wondering why I can't pay my bills, wondering why I can't take a vacation whenever I want to, and then looking at my son duplicate that process because that's what I taught him by my actions, that all he's good for is to be an employee. Nothing wrong with being an employee, but my son already told me he doesn't want to be an employee, and I don't want to be an employee. So because he told me that, I'm going to show him how to be an entrepreneur, because that is my why and that's his why. So I'm going to close it there. You know, I just want you all to think about this. When you're going through the ugly part of being an entrepreneur, which is the beginning, remember your why. Remember the reason why you're doing this. Not because of other people. It's you and your family. It's nobody else. This is your why. Even if it's just because you love money. Well, guess what? In network marketing, when you help other people, you get more money. So, hey, let that be your why, whatever your why is. And remember, everyone on your team has a why. So when you become a leader, you got to make sure that they understand their why and they see the big picture. This is not a get rich quick scheme. And it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. And it's not for everybody. And if you're a real entrepreneur at heart, you'll understand. The pros outweigh the cons. But you gotta work smarter, not harder. If you're working hard, you think you're working hard and you're not getting results, go talk to somebody that's more successful than you. And I guarantee they'll tell you how to work smarter than you are. So, struggling, money issues, no time, doing the actual work, well, make that sacrifice worth it. So, this is your girl, Tanaya-Marcia Silhouette. This is your Team DSF Weekly Business Training. I'm going to end it like this and say, remember your why, don't give up. Real entrepreneurs go through the same thing. Go talk to them, be inspired, and let's get this success, okay? Have a good one.